Have you ever had a game idea and you just want to try it out and see if it's fun? Well, I have, and recently I spent a few days putting together a very basic prototype of a game I'm calling Dungeon Soccer. I figured the best approach would be to create my 3D models using Unbound, to do some light rigging and animation work using Mixamo, and bringing all of those assets into Unreal Engine to compile and add a bit of basic gameplay mechanics. Let me show you what I did. The first thing was to model our main character inside Unbound. You can see this red knight here that I'm working on. To be honest, this was probably the most time-intensive part of the process. I was having fun, so I really took my time sculpting lots of little details. The next step was to export this character's mesh. As I record this, the Unbound team is hard at work on an updated version of our mesh exporter. It will have options to optimize your output for certain poly counts, an image map exporter, and hopefully normal maps as well. Once we've got that mesh exported, we can pop over to Mixamo and upload our character. It will walk you through a handful of steps that automatically add bones and rig your bipedal character for animation. You can see I just drop in these little joint placement icons. For this particular character, we don't need to do anything with the hands, so I set fingers to none. And in just a couple minutes, Mixamo lets you set up this rigged mesh and start applying motion capture data to it to get these really nice animations. And they're all pretty seamless and work well together. So what I need for our game prototype is the T-pose, an idle state, a run state, and a walk state. And once I download those from Mixamo, I bring them over into Unreal Engine and modify some of their existing top-down character templates to get this little guy running around and interactive. Next, I jump back over to Unbound to start getting some of the scenic assets ready. Nothing says soccer game more than these iconic stripes on the pitch, so I model out some quick field details. I also wanted this to have kind of an underground dungeon quality to it, so we needed some rock walls that had, a bit of color, lots of dark browns and reds, and of course an organic quality, which is really easy to do with just a simple handful of spheres and cubes inside of Unbound. You can see this blending is perfect for creating organic meshes. To add further detail to the scene, what I also did was modeled a handful of simple rock designs and then brought them over into Unreal to make use of their foliage system, which basically allows you to paint instances of it with various rotation and scale parameters set. And then I dropped in a bit of lighting, and you can see we've got kind of a reasonable little game environment here. And now that that's set up, along with our main character, it's time to add some fun interactivity. Here I am modeling our dungeon soccer boulder, a little bit more interesting than a soccer ball in this case, and a perfect opportunity to use SDFs to carve little details in a sphere here. It's really great to also be able to do color and 3D modeling all in one pass. I'm using blends and some spheres to drop a little color variation onto the surface of this boulder, so I can export that. And we need someone to play against. So here I am finishing up some modeling details on your friendly neighborhood dungeon goblin, who will make the perfect soccer opponent to play along with. So I exported that mesh and went through the same process in Mixamo as I did with the knight character. And then I followed some YouTube tutorials to learn how to make a very basic behavior tree for this opponent AI system. I also made sure to set up collisions, both on the soccer ball, as you can see here, but also the floor and walls and other surrounding elements. For those items, I always wind up using set complex collisions as simple, which you can find in the Meshes collision presets dropdown. Full disclosure, the AI that I was able to set up on these goblin opponents is fairly rudimentary. The only thing really working at the moment was a simple chase behavior. Unfortunately, they don't know how to steal the ball or kick it in the goal yet. All of that would be really fun given sufficient time and skill and blueprints, if we're honest. And so here's the prototype we wound up with. Far from a finished game, but it looks really cool, and it was actually pretty fun to play. And I have to say I learned a lot in the process. I wanted to put this quick video together to show you roughly the steps that I took to create this prototype, and hopefully inspire you to do the same. Our Discord is linked below, so please swing by and let us know if you have any specific questions. Until next time, happy creating!